Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the round 10 of the European Racing Series. I am your host, Castor. Unfortunately, my co-comrade will not be here tonight. He's a little bit down in the dumps, bit of a sore throat, so hopefully he's going to be okay. So yeah, just me, all my guys here today at the best Grand Prix of the lot. Not biased in the slightest. This is Silverstone. This is the British Grand Prix, the home of Formula One. Well, not Silverstone, but a bit further south, where I am. We've got 40 man group here today. And please fix my mic. What's with my mic? Is it not working? Oh, it's doing this. Hang on. Apologies. There we go. How about that? That should be a little bit better for you. Apologies for that small. Yeah, that looks about right. The bar's not moving, jumping. Right, I need to get back to the game. There we go. Oh, flip heck. Right, let's try this again. There we go. Right. Apologies, that's small today. Yeah, that should all be now all hunky dory. And yeah, there's Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix, home of Formula One racing, not home of the Grand Prix. That's France, but we can claim the home for Formula One. And yeah, lovely to be here. Lovely blue skies here in Silverstone, which doesn't always happen in all fairness. Silverstone is one of those tracks that has its tendency, well, being in England, has a tendency to be rather wet every now and again. But looking dry, looking blue. Looking quite lovely in all honesty. Kid just suddenly changed it. The flip of a switch though, that is what it's like here. And quickly run down standings and how we stand coming into this race. This is said earlier, this is round 10. So Yonti's current lead on 8. He's on 170 points. 84 points clear of Brownie in second place. Yonti has 4 wins to his name this season. So Brownie is on 86 points. So just over half way to Yonti, but that can all change in a flip of hats. If Yonti has a bad day and Brownie has a great day, then Brownie can creep back towards him. Fred Joker's looking good in third. He is on 82 points, so really close to Brownie, and again, that's something that could change here today. Bit of a gap back to Spicy's on 63, followed by Dan on 60. Maranello, winner a couple of weeks ago in France. He is not here today, unfortunately, but he's currently 6th on 58 points. Just behind him is Beaker on 57. Then a bit of gap back to Daxi B on 31. Duip on 27. And running out your top 10, you've got Copy, winner last week on 25. Can he reproduce those results? We're going to find out. He's just come back to the league. And I mean, you put down a marker like a win on your first race back, it says, look at me. And we will be looking at him today and seeing if he can do anything special. I do have telemetry open, so I will be kept informed of penalties. Also should be keeping a good eye on the fastest lap. Currently on board with B because he's coming towards the end of his lap. He did the fastest first sector of anyone so far, but not the fastest second sector. So if he gets this last sector nailed, this could well be a pole lap. And here we go, coming towards the line. And there we go, a pole lap. And not a massive lead then, 0.08 of a second is the gap between him and Dan in second place. We need to do an onboard. Brownie's a long way away. Copy's only just come out of the pits. Fred Joker is coming towards the end, so probably will not be on a pacey lap after this. We'll find someone. Fred Joker goes P3. I want to do Copy, but he's quite far away at the moment, and there's a bit of traffic ahead. But yeah, so 14 drivers, and Absinthe is looking like he's going on hards at the moment. I'm just trying to see what's that. Cloudy or race, light cloud qualifying. No rain forecast, doesn't mean it won't change to rain at the end. Hopefully, it won't change, but at the same time, hopefully it will change. From my point of view, I love it to see it change to rain. from the driver's point of view, they probably don't want it to be changing. So yeah, we'll hopefully not have any rain. We'll go on, stay on board with Copy on his flying lap, which is coming up in a moment. And we'll do a full rundown then of the corners and the track. Most importantly, calling our names. I know most of these off by heart. Came here myself a few years ago, but right then, home straight. No DRS this year. Used to be DRS straight last season. It's not anymore. Through turn 1, Abbey. No lifting. Just keep the power down. Long turn 2 of Farm. Get it back over to the left-hand side for turn 3. And then the double left-hander of 4 and 5 onto the DRS straight. This is arena corners. And then DRS straight. Detection point for this is just actually before turn 3, so quite a way back. As we go down towards Brooklands, the long left-hander, very, very late apex on there. We're going to see some battling going to this corner, that's for sure. Through turn 7, Luffield, and then going to get that power down on the exit as you come up to turn 8, which is Woodcote. Not really a corner, but still there is a bit of corner there. Intercops in the qualifying, no lifting. In the race, you might just have a little lift and a shift down, depending on how you're doing. And as we go through the Maggots and Beckett's, turns 10, 11, 12, 13, and the exit then, Chapel forcing onto the hangar straight. DRS wide open. Detection point for this is actually back before turn 10, so you may have it and completely lose it on the hangar straight, or in the Maggots and Beckett, sorry. Turn 15, Stowe, which is just beyond a full corner, if you know what I mean. It's not just 90 degrees, you go a little bit beyond it, and it catches some people out occasionally. Through Vale, turn 16, and then 17 and 18 is a club corner, and across the line, and he's done a 20, pretty much a 127 dead. Good enough at the moment for P4. So then, we've had a first stint from a handful of drivers. A few people are still out on track. Spicy is out there. Let's have a look at him as he's coming down towards Brooklands and see if he can produce something. Highest position for him so far this season is a third. He's had 1 3rd, 1 4th, 1 6th, 1 3rd, 1 4th, 1 5th, 1 6th, and 3 7ths so far, and 2 didn't start. So he's Mr. Inconsistent on the positioning charts, that's for sure. Unlike Yonti, who's Mr. Consistently near the front. He's in 9 races so far. Yonti's got a podium in 6, 2 4th places and a 5th outside of those podiums, so he is looking strong so far this season. It's going to take a mighty effort for anyone to dethrone him. And considering there's 21 races in the season, we've had 9, and he's already got an 84-point lead over Brownlee. It's going to be a real task for anyone to catch him up. I mean, Brownlee did miss 2 races in the middle of the season, which hasn't helped him. Spicy goes fastest though, fastest first and second sectors. And taking current pole position then, fastest final sector has actually gone to Max down there in 17th. So if Max can link together the other sectors, he's in a good shot of a nice qualifying here today, but he's on his way out now. He's actually on a flying out, so let's actually have a quick look at Max, nearly promoted back up to tier 1. As he's coming down towards Cops and throwing, he's backed out. He's going very slow through there. So let's look away quickly to Tompa, who's coming in the pits. Can someone be doing a lap for me? Drislav, are you doing a lap? Yes, you're in mode 5. You're going for it. You haven't put in a time yet, but you are going for it nonetheless. 27.5 in the first sector. A few tenths down on getting a purple sector 1. Sector 2 is a 36.2. Again, that's nearly half a second down on current pulses, which is Spicy. Final couple of corners then for Drislav. Hopefully he can get a decent time. If he can get in the 127s, I'm sure he'd be happy with that. Final corner is then for him. It's just outside the 127s, and when I say just, I mean just 0.023 outside of those 27s. And P11 at the moment for him. He's going to look to try and improve that later on. Brownie's teammate is out and is actually going to be right up behind him So he's going to benefit for a little bit of slipstream down the next straight if he can. His teammate actually gave it to him, but it doesn't. And his teammate's got well out of the way. Yeah, I'm sure Brownie would have loved that slipstream, just to gain a little bit more time. And we'll see what his Sector 1 split is. 27.2, which is close to being the fastest sector. So this could be a good lap here from Brownie. As I say that, I realise how many times I've jinxed Brownie in saying, he's never going to get a penalty. It's going to be fine. And then I jinx him, and he does not like me watching him or commentating on him, I don't think, anymore. Because the amount of times that it happens, I think he's not very happy. Always aggressively there through Beckett's. Baker goes fastest of everyone, fastest last sector by quite a long way. He's looking good. Must have had a little toe then down the hanger straight as Browning's coming up. He's run very wide. He's going to back out. No, he's going to keep going. Final few corners then for Browning. That's made a little bit of a mess of it. But it's still a decent few sectors, and the final sector wasn't that great, but he does improve by 4/10. Up to P5 he goes. And so 6 minutes and 15 seconds left, so plenty of time to go. Fragiaco's out on track. He's getting a little bit of a tow here from Muttley. And that's going to be really beneficial for him in the next straight. And unfortunately Muttley gets that way, but he's still got a couple of other cars punching a hole in the air. His teammate Dennis is one of those people. Fragiaco is going to take advantage of that slipstream. And he did a green sector 1. So he could improve here, especially if he got a decent tow through down the hanger straight. Final few corners for him. Let's see, can he haul himself up towards the first couple of rows? He's on the third row at the moment. He just moves up one place. It's tiniest of improvements, 0.05 of a second. And it's the difference between 5th and 6th there. So he's just moved up one place for now. He will have another run later on. Copy last time's race leader. He is out at the moment. He's going through Beckett's himself. And how's he looking? He's looking white in sector 1, which means he's not gone faster than previous. And he's a little bit down still. 0.06 of a second down on his previous best. As Tomper's actually gone purple in sector 1, and we'll look at that one in a moment. Copy backs out. Let's have a look at Tomper actually. Purple sector 1 to his name. It's not massively clear of everyone. It's only 100th of a second faster than Spicy managed to do in sector 1, but still, getting a purple is no mean feat. As the track is starting to evolve, so it's a little bit easier, but still, just getting. He just needs to get some grip in those rear sides. He's just sliding through those corners, able to straighten up on the exit, and he's going to come towards the final few corners now. Green in sector 2, so he has gone faster than his previous, but it's not going to be a P1 time unless he's found something special in his last sector. Coming around the final corner now, let's see what time can he do. It's up to P3, so decent jump, 4/10 improvement. And that purple sector 1 really helping him out there. And he's less than a 10th off Beaker up at the top. Spicy's now out on a lap as well. He's coming towards the end. It's not going to be fast though, I suspect, at this stage. And no greens, and yeah, he's straight into pits. He knows it. He knows it all too well. And he's backing out of that lap, and I think we're approaching that time once again. It is the calm before the storm. Muttley and Dennis are going to be on their way back to the pits at this precise moment. And only a couple of other people still on track. Oh, apologies. So, is Dennis going to keep going? He's still in mode 4, but he's got red fuel. He's had red fuel for a while, so I think he might be on his way back in. Although he's up by 2 seconds. That can't be right. He must have been validated and taken some serious shortcuts to be up by 2 seconds. Yes, he invalidated. He must have invalidated in sector 1 because somehow he did a 24.6 in sector 1 when the current record is a 27.2. So, must have been invalidated somewhere to achieve that. And so he is in the pits, and Muttley is staying out. He's going to go for another run on the softs. Interesting call then from Muttley. Let's see how he does then. Let's see if he's kept any grip in these tyres. He's done one lap already of pace, one cooldown. He's going to go again, which is an interesting call. Does he think he didn't have time to come in and change and go? Quite possibly. As people are now starting to come out, you've got to be leaving with around 2 minutes left on that clock. As we can see, everyone changing now to outlaps instead of pits. Dennis going to get out in time. He's now exiting the pits. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze for him. Muttley's gone. First sector's up on his previous best. So that's good from him. See if he can keep that going. And no, he's not. He's backed out. Is that the end of his qualifying? Currently P10 at best. We shall see. But he's going to be... I think this has got to be bringing back home. He's not on red fuel yet, so he does have a bit left to burn. Copy has started his final lap. And he's going through Woodcote then. And we'll see if he can improve. 27 dead is his best so far. But not green in Sector 1. He's not down by much. He's only 7,000ths of a second down in Sector 1. Can he link it together in Sector 2 and improve? Not if he takes a line like that, he won't be, and he knows it. He knows it all too well. He does have another lap if he wants to go for it. If he can cross the line in the next 40 seconds, which shouldn't be out of the realms of possibility. Spicy's just started his lap, along with Yonti, and that's interesting camera angle. It's nice and useless at the same time. Let's go back to being on board with him. So, busy track as we are coming towards the end, and there we go. Going towards the end of qualifying. Yonti's also out there, just a bit ahead of Spicy. Why don't you work, you silly controller? Sorry, Spicy's a bit ahead of Yonti, so... And Spicy's gone purple in Sector 1. This is the man to be watching at the moment. Fastest man in the first sector of anyone so far today. Checker flag is down. Tompa's best is going to be P3. Beaker's not going faster in the first sector. Spicy's looking good at the moment. What about Yonti? Yonti is down in the first sector in comparison as well. Oh, that's... Spicy's made a little mistake there. Just ran onto the grass. But he's gone fastest in Sector 2, irregardless of that small mistake. This is looking good from Spicy. This could be the pole lap here. As he's coming up to the final couple of corners now. It's looking very good. He's only down by 0.05 of a second from Beaker. But this should be purple. And it is. Absolute storming lap. He didn't go faster than the last sector, but fastest in the first two has put him at the front. Let's have a quick look. Yonti is backed out. He's made a mistake there. Beaker's coming up to the line. He will improve, but I don't think he's going to improve enough unless he's done something magical. He does improve, but as I say, doesn't improve enough. Just 1/10 down then from Spicy. And Yonti retires. Where's Fragiaco? He's on his way. He's... might get a small improvement. He's going to be close if he gains a place or not. It's right on the edge. And not if he does that, he won't. And that is the end of Fragiaco's qualifying. He's spun it. Where is Max? Is done as well. He is going to be P8. And any man left on track is Fragiaco, who will be crossing the line any moment. And there we go. So that's a busy qualifying, to say the least. And yes, so it is going to be a very interesting race. We're going to have Spicy on the front row. Did not expect to see that. Followed by Beaker, Dan, Tompa, Yonti, Brownie, two championship leaders down there in 5th and 6th. Followed by Fragiaco, Max. Last week's winner, Copy, half a second off the pace there in 9th. Absinthe in 10th. And Jeruslav, Muttley, Dennis, and no time there for Duxby at the bottom. And yeah, that's the end of qualifying, and hopefully that's going to set us up for a lovely race. Apologies for that screen. I just every now and again my controller doesn't like working, so I have to try and reboot it. And that's exactly what that was. And there we go. So we are now going to be going into the race, and hopefully we've still got plenty of action left to be had. Max wants a prediction. Max is not going to make it to lap 5. How's that for a prediction? You asked for a prediction? You got a prediction. So it's looking much more overcast than it was in qualifying. Still a little bit of blue skies. I've not been told it's going to rain, so don't expect it to. If it does, it'll be a surprise to me. And hopefully we're still going to have plenty of action, as that is not what I wanted to see. That's Dennis just left and migrating host. Are we re-hosting? It looks like we are. Apologies. Yes, we are restarting. So we're just going to restart the lobby, so we will be back momentarily. But yeah, I think we're restarting because we forgot to set it to private lobby, and someone joined that shouldn't have joined. So bear with us for this. Hopefully things will be up and running shortly. And yeah, so alright, apologies, I'm just looking at my messages while we wait. Interesting qualifying. Don't expect to see Brownie and Yonti that far down on the grid. That's kind of been a bit of a surprise there. We normally expect to see him quite high up, and to see him not on the front row is a little bit of a surprise. I shall put some music on. So welcome back to the European Racing Series. Apologies for the small delay. Just having some problems with the lobbies. Hopefully it is now all fixed. We are now just waiting for everyone to get their setups on. Obviously top 10 need to put the correct tyres back on, which hopefully they can remember. We're just going to have the formation lap. Oh, where are the cars gone? There they are. They're appearing slowly. That was interesting. Just saw all the cars disappear. So yeah, you've not really missed much in the time we've gone. It's just people just need to set the lobby up correctly, make sure every setup was, or every position was done on the grid. So you can see the grid on the left hand side. You've got Spicy followed by Beaker on the front row, Dan and Tompa on the second row, Yonti and Brown championship rivals on the third, Fragioko and Max on the fourth, and Copy and Absinthe running at your top 10. Followed by Jurislav, Muttley, Dennis and Duxby. Duxby with the qualifying band starts at the back. Duxby and Dennis then looking to start on the medium tyres and trying to go long in that opening stint. We'll see how that works out for them, as we will be going racing shortly. We're just on board with Spices. He's just carrying around on his formation lap. I do have my telemetry app open. I can see, hopefully, as long as it doesn't bug out. It did once the other day. It just closed itself down by one randomly. I will be able to find out penalties and things being applied to people, keep you updated as best I can, and from there we should hopefully have a good race on our hands. So Spicy now just coming around the final corner, going to take up position. He's done his warm-up lap. Hopefully he's got those tyres, the optimum temperature. He'll be sat on the grid for the longest as we wait for everyone to take up places. As Duxby will be the last man, conveniently in a Williams, at the back of the pack. His Williams teammate is actually right in front of him, so they know what it's like to be at the back. And hopefully we can see a good race from these two, and just pick up positions off the start. And with such opening first few corners, it could be anyone's race as the lights are coming on. 5 red lights. They're off, and we're off then for the European Racing Series here at Silverstone. Everyone getting away cleanly, looking for space there as Dan trying to come down the inside as we go through the first corner. Definite contact in the back, car sliding off all over. It's a Ferrari in the glove, that's Fragiaco. And he's had a nightmare of a start. Definite damage from someone. I saw front wing flying in the air as Fragiaco and Dennis and Max have slid to the back. So maybe it wasn't Fragiaco going off, it was in fact Dennis. And Yonti sitting there in P5. Keep our eye on the big changes so far. That's the wrong way, that is the changes. As movement ahead as Brownie's trying to make moves on top. We're trying to go round the outside now of Luffield. Has got on board with him and see if he can get that switch back, which he's not going to get it from there. Tompa holding on to P4, but Beaker taking the crucial lead and going to be looking to hold off that. Brownie's looking to go down the inside into Cops. Don't connect, and he's not. And he's actually got his championship rival Yonti on his edge, on his side, and Brownie's able to shake him off and hold the position for now. And let's have a look further back then. I just wouldn't be surprised to see these guys with a bit of front wing damage. There's nothing on Dennis by the looks of that. It doesn't look like there's any damage. Doesn't mean there isn't damage. Let's have a look, see if we can get a look at Max's front wing. Maybe they just collected each other. No damage on that. Definitely someone lost a bit of front wing end plate. Maybe it was Fragiaco, so he's the one that dropped like a stone. Yes, you can see front right damage there on that Ferrari. And is that front right damage on Absinthe as well? And let's see, can we get a good view that isn't going too quick, please? No, he's all fine. Just the camera angle made it look like he did have damage. So it's the end of the first lap. Beaker is the current leader from Spicy, holding him off for now as gaps are starting to appear. Yonti and Brownie, Yonti and Tompa going at it. Yonti is in the slipstream of Tompa, but Tompa's in the slipstream of Brownie. And nothing coming of it this time around. And everyone's still within a second of everyone other than the back two. They've had their issues on that opening corner. But now the rest of the pack are starting to settle into the groove. Muttley's had a great start. He's up 5 places so far. Fragiaco's had a nightmare. He's down 3. Max is also down 5 into 13th. And this battle, I feel this battle might go on for a while. The Brownie-Yonti battle. Brownie's actually losing ground to Dan, which is not good. He needs to stay on the back end because DRS is coming. And if he's not on the back end of the man in front, then he's going to miss out. As Copy is getting close to Absinthe. Let's have a quick look back there. He is not, because I'm getting triggered once again by the timing board. Timing board doesn't really sort itself out until the end of this lap, and it's caught me out once again. Spicy goes fastest so far then, and Dan beats it almost immediately. But yeah, Brownie has fallen right off the back. I know he likes to underfuel his car. Has he just slightly overly underfueled it? And his last lap was half a second slower than Dan in front of him. So, not entirely sure. I'm just wondering if Brownie's not doing too comfortable. I know he hasn't practiced this track, but to be this far off the pace is not a good sign. As Spicy and Beaker getting close together. There's going to be some action in the next DRS section, that's for sure. They've just had one little run of DRS. Just use it to close up, and then stay on the back of them as you come down the national pit straight, I believe it's called. The original pit straight from quite a few years ago now. But he's right there. Dan is right there as well. So this could be, if Beaker gets a bad drive off, he could lose 2 places. He just needs to. Well, he's done it right there, but he's going to lose out to Spicy. Spicy's going to send one down the inside into Stowe. He's alongside and through Goes Spicy back into the lead for him. And Beaker will be now trying to find a way back past him. Absinthe is on the back of Muttley. Jurisav and Fredjeko swapping places behind. Jurisav up into 10th place, into those points positions. And Duxby comes down the inside of Fredjeko. What is going on with Fredjeko? He must have... He does... Yes, sorry, it's the front right damage. I knew that. I just forgot. So that's why he's dropping like a stone. He's just not got what he needs. And it wouldn't be surprising if to see him pit in a few laps. Pitting a little bit earlier than everyone else just to replace that front wing. Yonti and Tompa are close together as well. Dan is really close to Beaker. He's might be looking. He was looking. He's not going though. He knows better than that at this point. And he'll just collect himself, save up a little bit of fuel, save up a little bit of ARS, get ready to absolutely dump everything on the exit of Chapel. And see if you can take Spicy and or Beaker, sorry, on the hangar straight. It's not an easy task, especially if the guy in front's got DRS. And after you go through these corners, you already have it from the direction point back there. But if a car in front makes a mistake like Beaker just made, you have to back off yourself, and that really compromises your line. You just got to hope you make a better exit than the guy in front does, and Dan didn't really make a better exit. Beaker didn't have the best of the corners. Now Spicy up, up into P7 then. And Fredjeko is really struggling. Duxy B on the back of Jurisav as well. They are getting close together, both having DRS to nullify the other one's DRS, but Duxby just has a few more an extra car of slipstream to just help himself pull him up onto the back of that McLaren. McLaren's still in 4th place at the front. Duxby looking here on Jurisav. It's not your normal place to try and make an outtake, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. And that just made a mess of the opening couple of corners of that lap. Just trying to make an outtake where there wasn't really time. The home straight is quite short, and he compromised his line through turn 1 into 2 and then couldn't make a dive into 3, and now he's got to sit back and just wait for all that hanger straight. Let's have a look at Absinthe. He's looking at Muttley. Muttley just runs a little wide through that corner. Absinthe 3/10 off the back of him at this point in time, as Max is closing up to the back of Fredjeko. 4/10 is the gap there. Dennis has dropped right off the base. He's 6 seconds back off the rear of Max. Obviously not having the best of days out there. Absinthe and Muttley. Muttley not having DRS from Copy in front of him. This is going to be Absinthe's chance. But he just had a little wobble there in the middle of Beckett's. Compromised his exit. Means he's not going to be making a move. But behind is Jurisav under pressure. He is under pressure, but not a lot of pressure at this point. Max has got past Fredjeko, no surprise there. And Duxby looking close to the back of Jurisav, and Jurisav's actually going up a little bit onto the back of Absinthe. That's going to help the McLaren driver defend his position for now. Out front though, Spicy's still leading from Beaker, then Dan. They are as they started. Brownie's up 2. He's got a nice little cushion between him and Yonti in the former Tompa. And touch wood, we've had no penalties yet. None whatsoever. We've had a little spin on the opening lap, but no one's actually picked up any penalties. As Absinthe looking down the inside there at Muttley. Has he got that? Yes, he has. He's through up into P8 for the Red Bull man. And Muttley's great start. He was up 5. He's now only up 3. So he's dropping a couple of places here and there. Just needs to steady that ship, because he's got 2 cars right on his tail. So let's have a look back up at the front as we change onto the tyre screen, just to keep our eyes on that. Dan, Beaker, Spicy. Beaker's looking, Spicy's defending. Beaker's trying. He's got to go a long way here as Dan goes a long way into the corner. But Beaker can't find a way. He's going to have a little look down the inside. No, he doesn't. Just playing it safe for now. Dan actually lost a fair bit of time on the back of Beaker, making that one mistake into Stowe. But he's managed to get back within DRS of Beaker, which is going to be useful. DRS detection point for The straight is just here, and he is within that 1 second window, so he will get a chance just to pull himself up a little bit. Is Beaker going to be looking to make a move on Spicy? Not a normal place to see an overtake, considering Hanger Straight is so much more powerful. But it's not out the realms of possibility. And he's not. Okay, let's have a look back. Let's go back towards the back of the pack. Just see Dennis is getting on. He's not having the best day out there. He's not showing front wing damage, but he's just not keeping up the pace. His teammate in front of him is 6 seconds up the field, but his teammate has front wing damage. Dennis's mediums are just not working for him here. And he's just not able to do anything as Yonti. I missed it. I was going to look at that, and Yonti's got past Tompa then on the exit of Cops by the looks of things into Magus and Beckett's. And they both have DRS. They're 0.8 of a second off the back of Brownie, so he's just going to close up once again. And we're going to play the waiting game until we get to the next straight. And Duxby and Jerusalem, they're still battling. Duxby wants his teammate to get the hell out of here, get away from Jerusalem, so you can have clear Jeruslavs of DRS. Let's look back up at this race lead. We're looking all over the place for battles right now, and they're all popping up. We've got a battle for first and third, then a battle for fourth, fifth, sixth. Copy's in a little race of his own, but then behind him, Absinthe and Muttley close together with Jerusalem and Duxby right on the tail, and Max is starting to join that little train. So everyone in the top 10 other than Copy are in battles. Two Ferraris at the back. I'm going to be hoping for a few DNFs here today to allow them to get some more points. But Dan is still on the back of Beaker. He's not going to be giving up. How long though before we see one of these guys pit for an undercut or to prevent the undercut? And could we see Dan stopping in the next few laps? It's not something you wouldn't not do. We're coming towards that point of the race where tyres are going to be starting to feel a little bit painful. But Beaker trying to go around the outside there. Spicy just doesn't quite have the pace. Has that allowed Dan? No, he hadn't. I thought Dan would be really close to that, but he didn't really close up through the battling. And Tompa, he's the first man then to stop. What tyres is he going to go for? He's going to come out on a set of softs, a set of mediums, or is he going to go hards? I think it would be crazy to go for hards. This is not a track that likes the hard tyres. And I'm trying to catch up to see him, but well, let's skip him. He's going to be done by now. And we'll keep our eye then on Beaker with Dan right on his tail. Dan's going to get a good drive off that. Beaker's weaving to try and break the slipstream and to try and stay in the slipstream with Spicy, and Dan not able to do anything with it just yet. He will get a chance again in a moment, and apologies, I want that screen up as well, so I'm having that screen up as well. There we go. So this, I've just put up a screen on my, you can't see it but I can, just allows me to see tyre levels and things, just gives me an idea of when we might start seeing some people pit. It's not information I'll be sharing, if it is information that I use. I don't share it because it's quite sensitive information to these drivers, and they probably don't want it broadcast to everyone. But I can tell you still, we are on lap 9, or coming to the end of lap 9. Beaker, ooh, little nudge there from Spicy, he's trying to go around the outside. I was going to say we're still to see any penalties here today. And Dan is all over the back of Beaker, who's all over the back of Spicy. Spicy holding up this train. And Yonti comes into the pits. That's going to be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Tompa. Let's have a look. Yonti coming in now. Where? And they are dropping to that. Yonti, sorry, is in. Where's Copy's also in. Muttley's also in. Where is Tompa then? He's on his way to Stowe Corner. We all come back and see how that one works out. We're about to have a little bit of DRS here for the front three. Beaker is close. Is Beaker going to go for it? He's going to try and go around the outside then of Brooklands, and then he'll have the inside of Luffield and he's in the perfect place. It's so hard to make an overtake here. Has he done it? We're going to find out on the exit. He has. Beaker back up into the lead then. The lead that you had for the first few laps. And Spicy's not giving up. He's looking to come back at him. Down into Copse. And Beaker runs very wide and holds the place for now. But Dan is there as well. This could go really well or really badly. They are all battling for the lead here on lap 10 of 26. We are approaching the pit window. These tyres on these cars are getting old. They must be absolute agony at this point in time. DRS for Dan, DRS for Spicy. Beaker sitting up ahead. Is Spicy going to try something here? He's looking down the inside. There's not really a gap there for him. And that ERS is running really on Spicy. Beaker coming in. Spicy coming in. Dan coming in. He's going to come down to the pit crew. All the front drivers are in. Brandy's also in. Brandy caught up to the back of that pack while they're battling. This is going to be really quite interesting. Brandy has just turned the wick up in the last couple of laps. Closing up as Max gets a 5-second penalty, speeding the pit lane. Not good news for him. And we're going to keep our eyes on this leading pack. See who comes out of this pit lane at the front. There goes Brownie. Where's he coming out? Where is everyone else? They are still in position then. Actually, no, Brownie's got past Dan in the pit stop. Brownie's taken advantage of that and has leapfrogged the Toro Rosso. Beaker still effective leader at this point in time. But one extra place gained in the pit stop. And that is great news then for Brownie. He's got an extra place. But unfortunately, Yonti is ahead of him now. So he's lost out to Yonti but gained from Dan. Fortunately, he's kept Tompa behind him. But Yonti is going to be on quick tyres. Now he is in a battle for the lead. His teammate is the current race leader. Yonti is on the back of Spicy. Front three drivers still stopped. We're going to see Duxie, Juristav, sorry, stopping most likely this lap. He's on 10 lap old stop, so he will be sliding in shortly. And his tyres, actually his tyres are doing quite well. He could possibly do another lap after this and be sitting quite pretty. He's managed those tyres really well. Let's have a look at Yonti. He's on the back end here of Spicy. Half a second though. He's just lost a little bit of time through these Maggers and Beckers complex. Spicy has DRS as well on Beaker, so that will help him just pull away a little bit. And Brownie has got a Dan, a flying Dan, and Dan, oh, he looked. Brownie was very, very late on the brakes, and he's compromised his exit as a result. In comes Druslav now. He will come out behind all these drivers. But, yeah, so Yonti goes fast as he's put down that marker. He wants to be on this podium. As it stands, he is on the podium. He's just got to... Well, he's just got to stay away from Brownie and Dan. They are the ones that are going to be all coming after him. Tompa is still there as well, but Tompa's on a few laps older compared to these... a couple of laps older compared to these guys. So might be struggling for grip towards the end of the race. We'll see how that happens. Fastest first sector then for Yonti. Had the fastest lap last time around. He is going full ham for this. He's right on the back of Spicy. Spicy's got Yonti's teammate ahead of him as well, blocking him a little bit. As they go through Copse Corner. DRS detection point is coming up. Spicy got a terrible exit. It's giving Yonti a chance. But we're now at the point where he's a stay on the back of the guy in front. But if the guy in front makes a mistake, it's really hard to capitalise that. And it all comes down to your exit. And Yonti's actually got a decent exit there. He is going to be right on... He would be right on Spicy, but the problem is Beaker's backing Spicy up a little bit into Yonti. Yonti can't do anything about it because Spicy has DRS down those straights. Yonti needs to make a move where Spicy is looking vulnerable. He looked vulnerable on the exit of Copse last time round. He's going to use that to his advantage on the incoming, or the next time around. Dan goes fastest down there, behind as well. It is starting to shape up to be an awesome end of the race. We're only halfway through, and it is still so closely bound in this midfield. The front two are still stopped. Then Beaker, Spicy, Yonti, Dan, Brownie, all within DRS of each other. And that's effectively, that's first to fifth right there. And I mean, don't count out Duxty B. He might drop down later on, but he's going to come in and put some softs on that car And when he does, he is going to light the timing boards up and try and chase down these guys. He may still pick up a podium if he does it really well. We'll see how they gets on. They've done 12 laps so far on those mediums. And let's have a look. Dan is actually, well, was quite close to the back of Yonti. And elsewhere, actually, Max is making gains on Muttley. I don't really want to look away from this front battle, but I think I might have to in a moment because these guys aren't likely to pass each other. I say they aren't likely, but Spicy is really close to the beacon now. DRS open, mode 4. He's burned off a lot of fuel as well. He's minus fuel now. Hasn't got enough to finish, but he now has race lead if he doesn't make a mistake. Where's Beaker? Beaker's well off the track there. Was there contact? Doesn't look to be. But Spicy's ERS took a massive hit there. And now he's got nothing to defend with. He hasn't even got any fuel to defend with. Because that is yellow fuel, which means he's got not enough fuel to finish the race. He needs to start saving some. Beaker is looking pretty on the fuel front. He's not yellow yet. Let's have a quick flip back to Max on Muttley. Is Max going to look to make a move into turn 3? It's the type of thing Max would do. Muttley, I thought he was going to defend. A little luck out there from Muttley. Max closed up a little bit as Dan, actually, sorry. Dan is looking to try and go round the outside of Yonti. Now looking for that switchback, but Yonti's going to have the inside line for this corner. And to make an overtake on the outside is so hard. But is Dan going to do it? He's going to be squeezed. Yonti gave him space. A little more space than he should have given, and Dan has made that overtake. Yonti gave up easily, if you ask me. He could have squeezed Dan to an inch of his life. But Dan is now up into what is effectively third place. Yonti will be battling with Brownie on this lap then. Brownie's looking good. Yonti is looking under pressure. Running really low on ERS. I mean, Brownie's not much better. Brownie's doing his usual thing of having to save fuel. Under fuel in the car, and Beaker and Spicy swap places now. Swapping back. Beaker's down the inside into Vale. But Spicy's going to have the inside if he's still there. Where's that camera angle gone? There it is. Spicy is now down into effectively second place as Beaker takes the race lead once again. Spicy's lack of ERS is really starting to hurt him here. He is on 6%, 5%. Beaker was on only, didn't have that much more, but still had just a bit more. I mean, we're looking, let's see here. On the exit, he's on 19%. He's on 14%, so 5% between them. But yellow fuel as well, which means he doesn't have that much to use. Sells Beaker the dummy, tries to go down the inside. He's just a nose ahead. Little bit of contact there between Beaker and Yonti. Beaker and Spicy, sorry. Dan is trying to take advantage of that as well. More contact. No damage, just body to body. And Dan is still trying to come through. Yonti's up into this battle as well. These two drivers, or these four, are going to be really careful. There's been a lot of contacts already on just that one area. And Dan is under real pressure here from Yonti. Yonti is absolutely flying here. He was unable the last time to get past Spicy, but now Spicy's ahead. And Dan is right up onto the back of Beaker. Dropping back then on the exit. Beaker is going to be looking to make moves into Stowe. He's going to go around the outside of Spicy. And up, back into effective race lead goes Beaker. But can he hold it this time? Spicy's going to look to make a move. No, he's not. He just doesn't have anything to defend with. Duxby is in. He'll be changing on to the softs then for a nice little stint on those. Dan and Spicy still so close. There's so much action here. I think it's a good thing Raggy's not here. His voice will be dead by the end of this. And right, so Duxby out on softs, down in P8. P9 now. He's just dropping back a little bit. He should come out ahead of Max. Max will have a 5-second post-race penalty. And Duxby actually drops the whole way down. He's nearly going to be last, actually. But he will be on those soft tyres, so keep an eye on Duxby. Watch to see if he can carve his way back up through this grid. He was race leader for a few laps, so Dennis will come out behind him. And Duxby's just got a nice bit of free air at the moment to warm those tyres up to perfection. Spicy is all over the place. Dan is looking to make moves here through Woodcote. Dan is going to be up into third place, but Spicy's still on the outside. And Yonti is just sitting behind. A little bit of contact. No one spin off. I thought we were going to see someone go sideways there. Yonti is now through on Spicy. Spicy's just lost 2 places there. Something's not going well for him, and I think I know what it is. Dan picks up the first penalty outside of the 5-second max got of the day, and that could ruin a podium chance. Brownie's come past Spicy as well. What's happened to Spicy? He's just fallen off the edge of the world. Something has gone wrong for that man, and I'm not sure what it is. I know he's struggling with fuel, he's struggling with ERS, he just can't put everything down, but he's now just dropped from effectively 2nd to effectively 5th in 1 lap. It is not working out for Spicy. He needs to reset. He needs to start saving some fuel, start saving some ERS. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lose the back of this train. He wants to stay with them. He just needs to just improve his ERS management and his grip. That has really warmed up his rear tyres. That's for sure. Dan's actually dropped off from the back of Beaker. There is a 2nd gap between Beaker and Dan right now. And Dan just is teetering right on the edge there. It could go either way when they get to the detection point. The detection point is coming up shortly. He needs to get that corner done beautifully. He might get it. I think he's just going to get it. I think he might have just sneaked DRS there. He might. It is so close. And he does have it. If it did it, it was less than 1/10 of a second. And that has really helped Dan hold on, because Yonti and Brownie are all over his rear. As this battle's starting to calm down a little bit, as that looks like Dennis, current race leader, or was race leader, into the pits. Let's have a look at Muttley on Absinthe. He's trying to go down the inside. Tom with the 3-second penalty. Muttley's trying, not quite through. Absinthe runs wise. Muttley going to switch back to the inside here through Vale. No, he's not. He's going to sit in for a little bit longer. And Druslav's on the back of this as well. So this is a lovely little train. Oh, Druslav jumps through. So Druslav gets an easy overtake. He just jumps straight through Muttley there. Muttley's having a little bit of wobble. Now Max has pressure on. Max has a 5-second post-race penalty to be applied. Absinthe has a 3-second penalty to his name. So we're just a quick penalty rundown. We're on lap 18 of 26. Penalty rundown for you. Current race leader Beaker 0, Dan 3. Then in 6th place Tompa has 3. 9th place Absinthe, who we're on board with, has 3. And then there's Max with the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will be applied as well post-race, assuming he doesn't do another pit stop between now and then. And it would be crazy if he did, but he's going to lose a few places at the moment. As Muttley, 3-second penalty to his name as well. That might save Max 1 place, but Max is teetering right on the edge of losing. Well, as Muttley loses it, that's for sure. Where's that? Has he lost that in the middle of Maggotts and Beckett's? There he is on the left-hand side. That's an interesting place to lose it. Muttley is out then, so bad news there for him. And that's our first retirement of the day. He only just got a 3-second penalty. I wonder if that's all for the same thing at the same time. But out he goes as the battle is still raging on out front. And for the last of the points positions, Max's mirror's full of a Red Bull. His teammate is 5 and a bit seconds ahead of him. Toppy's been a little race of his own here today. Let's have a look up at the front. Yonti and Dan are still going out with Brownie just behind. Current championship leader is Yonti. 2nd place in the championship is Brownie. So Brownie needs to get ahead of Yonti to try and keep up the points, as Max and Absinthe swap places for 8th and 9th. Max is trying to fight it, but I think Absinthe a little bit wide in the middle of that corner. Let's switch back up to the leaders. They go through Maggotts and Beckett's. Yonti is eyeing up a pass here on Dan. Dan will have DRS in front of him though. Will Yonti have a chance? Dan doesn't have DRS. Yonti's got a great chance here. He's going to look to make a move down the inside into Stowe. Yonti is through, but can Dan hang around the outside and claim back wheel to wheel? That's Yonti off, and Yonti is out. Wheel-to-wheel contact just put Yonti straight into the wall. And that front wheel does not belong there. That is for sure. That is the end of Yonti's race. And that is going to be great news. Brownie's going to be looking at that and be cheering in his helmet, because he knows his championship rival is out. And he has a chance to close up. He may be 82 points off, but with his championship rival getting 0 here today, Brownie has a chance of getting a fair few points to close him up. He's currently in 3rd and has a bit of DRS to close up onto Dan. And let's have a look. Dan had DRS there, but he wasn't using it. Has Dan got a DRS fault? Or did he just close it before I flipped to him? We'll see again in a moment. Further down, Duxby and Absinthe are relatively close. Absinthe has been passed back by Max. Let's stay on board with Dan. He's in the middle of a sandwich here between Beaker and Brownie. And can Dan... He just needs to stay with him because Brownie is on his way. And if Dan does have a DRS problem, Brownie's just going to be closing up to him. Let's see. Don't think he did, but he might. He does. He's not using that DRS. I don't know if that's a fault on my screen, or he's generally not able to deploy it. But Brownie is really close to him now. As Dennis, a 3-second penalty down there in 12th place. It might, Ferraris might still get a point here. Just one more DNF and they do. We're about to finish lap 20 of 26. Penalty rundown is Dan still has a 3-second penalty to his name. As it stands, Spicy might get that. If he can up his pace, Spicy can get into a podium position, and Dan will have an absolute mare if he loses 2 places through that one penalty. But we're only on 21 and 26. There's still plenty of racing to be had, and all it takes is one penalty to change everything, as Dan well knows. Tompa has a 3-second penalty as well. That currently means nothing. But if Copy can up it, get closer by a second, then he'll lose a place to Copy. 8th place, Absinthe has a 3-second penalty. That is going to cost him a bit, but not as much as Max's 5-second will cost him. Dennis also has a 3-second penalty, but he's currently 6 seconds off his teammate, so won't really do anything unless Fragioko somehow gets a 10-second penalty between now and the end of the race, which can't see happening. Dan, though, is still on the back of Beaker. He really wants to get past him, but again, DRS light is flashing, but no one's home. As Brownie is closing up onto Dan, he has a chance to get past him. He doesn't need to get past him, though, but I don't want to jinx him, because I normally do. Brownie hasn't had a penalty here today. Touch wood for him. And it's looking good so far for Brownie. And Dan is seriously close. Duxie B has got past Absinthe. Up now into P8, down that hanger straight. Absinthe will look to come back. Duxie B's making use of those softs. Absinthe sends one down the inside. Nothing, no contact, no positions. Now Duxie B can keep his eyes on Max. He's 0.9, 0.866 off the back of Max. Max does have penalties, so Duxie B doesn't actually need to get past just yet. Just yet. Who knows? And race leaders are still quite close. I keep wanting to look at the race leaders, but let's keep an eye on Duxie B on Max. He does have that extra grippy tyres. He does have DRS. What has Max got to respond with? Listing lazily to the left is Max's response. Duxie B locks up. Max is going to look to slide back through, and does. Duxie B's big mistake there. Just carried too much speed into the corner. Locking up just cost him a chance to move up. And Absinthe is all over the back of Duxie B as well. One mistake again from Duxie B could cost him a place to Absinthe. We're on 22 or 26. Still time to go. And now Duxie B is under real pressure from Absinthe. Absinthe is not going to make a move. I thought he was going to. But nothing just yet. Duxie B, 3-second penalty. That means he will not be safe from... Well, Absinthe also has a 3-second. But Duxie B's 3-second is just... Oh, he slides past Max. That was easy. And he didn't look up. So Max is now down to P8. Duxie B up to P7. At the moment, Jerusalem will take him as he's within that 3-second. And Absinthe will lose out at the moment to Fragioko as well with his 3-second. Max is going to drop a fair bit as well. But this will all play out at the end of the race. Who knows what's going to happen. Max, 3-second penalty to his name again. 8 seconds for him, so he's pretty much guaranteed to lose something. He's looking down the inside of Duxbury. Dan and Beaker are swapping up. Apologies, Max. Beaker has been passed by Dan down the Hanger Straight and then into Brooklyn, down the Brooklyn Straight into Brooklands and left field through Woodcote. Beaker's got a good run on him. He's going to try and go around the outside of Stowe and has it. And that is a spin for Dan. Didn't see any contact. I think he just got too much on the curb. Lost the back end. Lost third place to Spicy. Lost fourth place to Top. Ooh, that was close. Lost fourth place to Tomper. Copy may as well have a bit of this action as well. Let's go back up to Absinthe and Max. They are approaching this area where we just saw Dan spin. Copy is within that 3-second window. And Dan's tyres are going to be really warm after that. But I mean, can he hold on? Dan needs to get a 3-second lead over Copy to hold that position. Be safe from Duxie B. But Beaker now has the lead. Brownie isn't far behind though. We're on lap 24 of 26. Max runs a little wide. Ooh, little bit of a slide for there for Max. Squeaky bum time for Max now as he's got an Absinthe behind him. And I think Absinthe just knows to play it safe. Just let Max stay ahead of you. The only problem for Absinthe is that the guy behind him, Jeruslav and Fred Joko, are within that 3-second window. He'll gain 1 from Max, but then lose 2. So he'll end up P10. He'll end up with points at the moment. But I'm sure he wants to come past as Brownie is on the back of Beaker. And this is for the race lead. There are no penalties here. I wish I had more screens. I really do. Dan and Tomper are still close. Dan's actually pulled outside the 3-second window of Copy, where he was for a moment, and is right on the edge of it now. His tyres are looking good. They may have had a nice slide, but Dan is now ahead of Tomper. He will lose that position again at the end if he can't get a 3-second lead, but it's just a bit more cover to Copy. And let's look further back. Let's look at Max and Absinthe. And Jeruslav is not far behind. Max is trying to catch up to Absinthe again. I really do wish I had more screens. I just wish I had like 4 different screens to watch this because there's just so much action. Dan and Tomper swapping places again. Let's stay on board with Max as he's looking to make a move. And now here on Absinthe, he's in the slipstream. DRS is open. He's going to send one down the inside. Ooh, Absinthe went slightly defensive. Max can't do anything about it. He's just not close enough. Max has decided to pit. I think he's realising that his penalties are going to cost him a lot. And he might as well bring it into the pit, go for the fastest lap. He's not going to gain anything out of it, but nor is anyone else. Tomper and Dan still close together. Dan does a 3-second penalty to his name. Tomper doesn't. Oh no, Tomper does, sorry. Apologies, Tomper does have a 3-second penalty to his name. So Dan actually has P4 at the moment. And Copy is right on the edge of getting that P4 off him. Copy penalty free. Let's have a look though. This is the race lead. We got this rest of this lap and 1 more left. It's still who's going to take the race win. It is not over yet. Beaker versus Brownie. Tyres are very evenly matched. Fuel levels are very evenly matched. ERS, that's the big difference here. That is a huge difference. Brownie has a lot more and is deploying it and is round the outside. Into the lead goes Brownie, but has he held the position? Beaker's still there. Brownie's going to come on back behind Beaker he goes and has to concede the position into Vale. But he has so much more ERS to burn than Beaker does. Look at that, 49 on Brownie, 13 on Beaker. Brownie just needs to stick it in high and get going. Tomper is half a second off the back of Dan. Jeruslav is half a second off the back of Absinthe. But we're going to keep our eyes on the lead as they are on the final lap. Quick final penalty rundown before we finish. I'll do it by positions because I don't have names. 4th place has 3, 5th place has 3, 7th place has 3, 8th place has 3. Brownie locking up. Has he got through? Beaker's going to be back on the inside here through left field. Beaker should hold this, but is Brownie going to run around the outside? Looking for the switchback here. No, he doesn't have it. Sorry, where was I? 7th 3, 8th 3, 10th 3, 11th 3, 12th 3. That's your quick rundown. Brownie back into the lead now. But, oh, desync. Desync. Of all things. The two race leaders are desynced from each other. Brownie, 3-second penalty to his name. That is it. Beaker just needs to stay on the back end of Brownie. And he will have it. That looked like desync to me. But based on how they're racing, that isn't desync. Brownie, Beaker, Brownie, Beaker through. Down the inside he goes. Brownie has a 3 seconds, so it's all going to be for now unless Beaker does some terrible thing on the final corner. Beaker's going to take the race win. And Brownie with that 3-second penalty on the last few corners. Heartbreak there for Brownie. And he's lost out to Spicy as well. Where's Copy going to finish? Copy jumps Tomper. Let's have a look back at Jurislav on Absinthe. Absinthe is going to hold off Jurislav for now. But Jurislav will take it through penalties. And there you go, Jurislav jumping up. Fragioko gets the last of the points positions. Dennis comes across 11th. And Max is going for that fastest lap. He did the fastest first sector so far. He just needs to finish. He's not going to gain anything other than just being able to say, I got the fastest lap. That is about it. Fastest second sector, so he's most likely going to get the fastest lap, but it's all for now at the end of the day. For some reason there's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. There's no one actually still driving, so I don't know why we've got yellow flags. And then final corner for Max, it's going to be the fastest lap, unless he messes it up, and there you go. Wow, wow, that was a rather busy European Racing Series Grand Prix here at Silverstone, and that man is at the top. And what a drive from Beaker, holding his nerve. Brownie unfortunately picking up a penalty on the final lap, and he lost 2 places as a result. He could have had Beaker, but that 3-second penalty just really messed him up. I don't think Beaker knew he had the penalty because it came so late in the race. Beaker probably wasn't aware. Brownie was just trying to finish ahead of him, and unfortunately lost out to Spicy as well. So Beaker, Spicy, Brownie, Dan, Copy, Tomper, Duxie B, Jurislav, Absinthe and Fragioko getting the last of the points positions. Just missing out then is his teammate Max. Max taking the fastest lap down there in 12th, but all for now at the end of the day. DNFers of Yonti and Mutt Lee. Oh wow. What a race. What a race that was. My voice is feeling worse than Raggy's right now. it's almost gone. So much action in that, and hopefully we'll have a lot of action for you next week. We're going to be off to Germany. That's going to be starting at the same time, 7 o'clock UK, 8 o'clock European time. So thanks everyone who came. What a race. I can't believe... I feel so sorry for Brownie for picking up the penalty on the last lap. But that's the way cookie crumbles. So thanks everyone for being here. Join us again next week. Thank you very much.